Hey there, how are you doing? So right now I'm opening this chart on the Bitcoin and um, I'm looking at this trade that is ongoing and just offering some analysis so that if you're in this trade or thinking of taking this trade, you could see some of the elements that have already happened. So as you can see, there was a trend line here, and this was the first trend line that was initially broken. And when this trend line was entered here, I actually did see this bearish Bitcoin sign. However, the price pulled back and actually even went higher. But the trend line was not broken because, as you can see, this trend line here joining these two areas, it actually comes back to retest the same spot. So after this, it crashed down and broke the secondary trend line. And this is where we currently are, and this is our entry right here. So what's happening is that our trade is based on this break, this initial break, and this trend line. So the stop is a bit high if it's going to be put there, but this all depends with your own discretion as a trader. And sometimes the price is going to spike you out a couple of times, so you have to be able to have a good entry and exit criteria. So right now we're looking at the price as it breaks down, and let's just take a closer look at Bitcoin and see exactly what's up and what's going on. All right, so this is Bitcoin as it is, and so the price is breaking down. Let me see what is happening. So this is the trend line that we're talking about, and this is the break that we were looking at, and here is where some people might have entered, and there was this pullback that may or may not have got you out of the trade. So right now we're looking at a bearish Bitcoin because this is what the trend has been. So the place that you're supposed to find some good orders would be in this zone, this entire zone, because in this place we're going to see that there are going to be a lot of opportunities that are offered, because price could come back here and retest it. But if it goes above this area, we're going to see what happens at this area, because anything that affects this zone is going to affect this trend. So this is a 4-hour Bitcoin chart. So while we are tracking this price, we're going to be seeing what will happen with this particular trend line, because the price looks like it wants to rally, and if it does, will it come back, retest this and go higher, or will it collapse at this area here? So what we're looking at is this zone, this trend line, and also other factors. So with Bitcoin, what we generally observe is the fact that it is very respective of support and resistance zones, because it's still a very new currency, and the very fact that it's new means that it has to honor all of the underlying principles that have already governed price action. So you're able to trade price action with Bitcoin. However, you see that whatever happens with this price is still trapped in this zone of this trend line. So if price is going to confirm the downside, we want to see it break down here. So with this, we're going to be always looking at the opportunities that we find on a larger time frame. So this is the whole evolution of this cryptocurrency, and as you can see, it hit a really high at some point, nearly 20,000. So right now, it's at its lows. So here we can see that we have this area that has afforded us some resistance. It was first resistance, and then it turned into support, and this is where this entire rally started. So this is where we are, back to square one. So this is where the rally started. So if price is going to break down these lows, it means that it will have to confirm the low and keep on trading and which will mean that it's closer to zero. So if price actually does continue to go higher on the Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin dollar chart, then it will have to break this particular trend line. So this is where the real trade is here. So so far we're looking at the bearish chart, but here what we see, let me make it clear that so right now we're looking at a bearish trend. As you can see, we have 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, and price is collapsing. So what we would want to see is this area here. As you can see that before Bitcoin started moving up, it first of all respected the areas of support and resistance, and this is where we are still trading. So this is a very key area at around the 6,000 price. So if Bitcoin goes above 6,000 at this point, then it will have to break this trend line, and it will have to break this barrier, and we'll see what happens with all of these highs. And whether or not it will make it up again to 20,000 will be determined by this trend line in particular. So the fundamental data on Bitcoin is a bit perplexing, because Bitcoin is still an emerging currency. So all of these are emerging trends. So what we're looking at are all of these factors and putting them into perspective based on price action. And if Bitcoin does continue in the bearish condition, then it will mean that price is going to break down and it's gonna be closer to zero. But we're still looking at these lows. Even if this area is taken out, it has to take out the 3,000 area and the 6,000 area. So this is the larger picture of what Bitcoin is going to be like in the next couple of sessions. So we're going to see how this unfolds as the year comes. So so far this block is in control of this movement, and this is what we're seeing, and not trying to put our own personal bias, but just looking at the price action and looking at what could be the effect of the economy on the world, because you also have to take into account the value of this technology and how it can impact society and everyone who is trading. So we're going to be keeping this updated so that we can see what this cryptocurrency is going to offer.